and a very warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Hishain Ali. Let's have a look at the headlines first. Maiden budget of the SLPP government to be presented in Parliament tomorrow. Foreign Ministry urges prospective travellers to be cautious of individuals who demand payments to facilitate entry permission to Sri Lanka. News in detail. Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Mahinda Rajapaksa will present the maiden budget of the new government in Parliament tomorrow. Accordingly, the Committee on Parliamentary Business has decided upon a 21-day debate for the 2021 Appropriation Bill post, presenting it in Parliament tomorrow. Consequently, the second reading of the Appropriation Bill will be debated from the 18th to the 21st of this month, and the vote on the second reading will be taken on the 21st at 5 p.m. The debate of the committee stage will commence on the 23rd November and is scheduled to conclude on 10th of December. The vote will be held at 5 p.m. on the December 10th, as further stated by the Secretary-General Dhammika Dasanayake. In the meantime, the 2020 Appropriation Bill was passed in Parliament without a vote last Thursday. Presenting the 2020 Appropriation Bill, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, under the capacity of Finance Minister, added that it is the responsibility of the government to reduce the income expenditure gap to 4% of GDP by 2025, which now stands at nearly 10%, and to reduce the overall debt to GDP to 75% of GDP within the next 4 years. The Export Development Board issuing a statement states that the United Kingdom has assured Sri Lanka will continue to enjoy EU GSP Plus benefit from 2021 post-Brexit. Since the UK is the main market for Sri Lanka's exports, the EU region, and the second largest export market after the USA, it is important for Sri Lanka to receive the same tariff preferences it was enjoying prior to Brexit when trading with the UK in the post-Brexit period. The EDB added that once the transition period ended on 31st December this year, the UK global tariff would replace the EU's common external tariff, which would apply until 31st December 2020, and UK generalised scheme of preferences would apply from January 2021. Thus, the Department of International Trade of the UK has announced that EU GSP eligible countries will be able to get the same tariff preferences they were entitled to earlier through the UK GSP from 1st January 2021. Being an EU GSP Plus beneficiary country, Sri Lanka will continue to be eligible to receive the same preferential benefits under the EU GSP Plus for the UK as per their proposed enhanced framework replicating EU GSP Plus. The proposed enhanced framework of the UK replicating EU GSP Plus criteria are expected to be enforced on 1st of January 2021 for a 3-year period from 2021 to 2023. During the aforementioned 3-year period, the UK will review the eligibility criteria, rules of origin criteria, and guidelines to develop its bespoke preferential scheme. The Foreign Ministry in a statement urges all prospective Sri Lankan travellers, both inbound and outbound, to be cautious of individuals who demand payments or any form of financial charges to facilitate entry permission to Sri Lanka. Thereby, the Foreign Ministry announces that no individual or entity is authorised by the Sri Lankan government to facilitate the prospective travellers in this regard. The Foreign Ministry in a statement urges all prospective Sri Lankan travellers, both inbound and outbound, to be vigilant of individuals who demand payments or any form of financial charges to facilitate entry permission to Sri Lanka. The ministry stresses that no individual or entity is authorised by the Sri Lankan government to facilitate entry or exit from Sri Lanka other than the government institutions concerned. Foreign Ministry also cited that the repatriation process, which was temporarily suspended due to the rising numbers of caseloads in the country, have resumed with priority offered to the most vulnerable and deserving cases. Those who reside overseas may contact their nearest Sri Lankan embassy, Sri Lanka High Commission or Consulate General for further and authentic information. Foreign Ministry also urges the prospective travellers to register on the Contact Sri Lanka web portal at www.contactsrilanka.mfa.gov.lk. Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break. Welcome back after the break. As per the customs statistics, earnings from merchandise exports have recorded a negative growth of 14.9% in October 2020 to $831.72 million as compared to the value of $977.3 million recorded in October 2019 due to the adverse impact of the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic within the country and globally. There was a sharp reduction in exports in October 2020 due to the COVID-19 eruption in Sri Lanka, and increases in exports were recorded only in the Europe region, accounting to 6.45% in October 2020 compared to October 2019. Moreover, earnings from merchandise exports absorbed by United Kingdom in October 2020 increased by 38.93% compared with the value recorded in October 2019. Export earnings from apparel and textile declined by 18.93% to $356.52 million during the month of October 2020 compared with $439.79 million recorded in October 2019. Export earnings from tea in September 2020, which made up 12% of merchandise exports, decreased by 1.38% year-on-year change to $112.22 million, and the export volume was also decreased by 10.57% in October 2020 compared to October 2019. In addition, export earnings from rubber and rubber finished products have increased by 12.4% year-on-year to $80.3 million in October 2020 due to the better performance in exports of pneumatic and retreated rubber, tires and tubes, and industrial and surgical gloves of rubber. Total merchandise export earnings for January to October 2020 was $8,233.21 million compared to $9,849.17 million recorded in a similar period of the previous year, with a decline of 16.41%. Moreover, the service exports estimated by EDB, which includes ICT, BPM, construction, financial services, and transport and logistics, show exports of $2,577 million for the period of January to October 2020, but it is a decline by 19.66% compared to the corresponding period of the previous year. In realizing the goal to make Bandaranaike International Airport as one of the main facets of Sri Lanka's economy, the long overdue development project, the second phase development of the Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunayake, worth 107 billion rupees, will kick off on this Wednesday. State Minister of Aviation and Exports Zones Development D.V. Chanaka, in a statement to the media, said that with the expansion of the airport capacity funded by Japan, it is expected that the passenger handling capacity of BIA can be increased from existing 6 million to 15 million passengers a year. Scheduled to reach completion in 3 years, the new multi-level terminal would expand over an area of 180,000 square meters. It will entail separate departure and arrival terminals, making the airport more passenger-friendly. The State Minister added that the advanced technology utilized for this project would help to save 40% water and 20% energy, making the second phase development of the BIA a green project. In addition to the building of the second terminal, the airport will have its parking capacity expanded with the construction of a 5-storied parking area. Also, all the entry roads to BIA will be developed under the project, while the infrastructure facilities will be uplifted as well. The ban on travelling outside the Western Province was lifted at midnight yesterday. In the meantime, the Health Promotion Bureau states that 672,100 PCR tests have been conducted in the country since 18th of February to yesterday. Accordingly, 704 new COVID-19 cases were identified in the country yesterday, and most number of cases were found from Colombo district, accounting to more than 500 cases. Moreover, the total number of coronavirus recoveries reported in the country reached 11,806 today, as 311 individuals infected with COVID-19 were discharged upon returning to health. Moreover, the Health Promotion Bureau says that 10,713 PCR tests were carried out in the country yesterday. Meanwhile, Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva said that another 229 new cases were reported by 6:30 p.m. this evening. He also added that all these new cases are the associates of the previous COVID-19 patients. Meanwhile, the ban of travel outside the Western Province was lifted from midnight yesterday. On the other hand, the government imposed isolation orders from today in Fort, Petta, Maradana, Slave Island and Dam Street, bringing the total number of isolated police jurisdictions in the Colombo district to 17. Isolation orders imposed in Modara, Mattakuliya, Grand Pass, Dematakoda, Blue Mandel, Foreshore and Kotahena in Colombo North, Boralla in Colombo South, Adurapu Street, Maligavatta and Keselvatta in Colombo Central as well as Vellampitiya will be continued. However, institutions under the Board of Investment and the Export Development Board, courts and essential services in isolated areas in Colombo were permitted to operate despite lockdown imposed at 5 a.m. today. Also, the quarantined urban flats in the Colombo Municipal Council area are Modara Uyana, Sirimuthu Uyana, Sirisanda Sevana, Randiya Uyana, Metsanda Sevana, Minijaya Sevana, Ranmit Sevana, Satiru Sevana and NHS apartment in Maligavatta. Moreover, with regard to the Gampaha district, Nigambo, Jayala, Ragama, Kadawatha, Vattala and Paliyagoda police jurisdictions will be isolated further, while lockdown was imposed from 5 a.m. today in the Kalaniya police jurisdiction. Furthermore, Sri Lanka police have arrested 42 individuals over the past 24 hours for violating the quarantine regulations. Since October 30th, a total of 263 individuals have been apprehended by the police over quarantine law violations. Stay tuned for stock updates. Welcome back after the break. The trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The All-Share Price Index dropped 5.50 points to close at 6,076.92 and the S&P SL20 dropped 14.68 points to close at 2,386.69. Turnover was 1.3 billion rupees and over 58 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. And with that, we'll be winding up for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.